be doing so much and running, and it just really dawned on me. It's the man that my mom was underage when she consumed me. Anyone who'd have been older.
15 and 22. Damn.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Now I can kind of see why he's probably not claiming it, because it looks bad on his reputation, because he has a history. Like if you look at like even Beyonce, like he was in his 30s and Beyonce was barely 19.
The big one was with Beyonce. When he signed that contract, the marriage contract, he got trophies. Those trophies came rolling in, buddy. He started getting Grammys left and
Jay-Z's alleged son, Rymir Satterthwaite, has just secured another legal win after 50 Cent officially stepped in, offering support to assist in a lawsuit. This development follows a judge's recent decision to allow Rymir's case to proceed forward in court. Meanwhile, Jay-Z's legal team is pushing back hard. In a newly released public statement, Jay-Z's side accused Rymir of harassment over multiple years.
How old was she when you were born?
15 going on 16.
And everything saying that they had met. Now, how old was Jay-Z at the time?
I think like 22.
They also threatened to bring forward documents in court they claim will discredit Rymir's narrative entirely. However, Jay-Z continues to avoid one simple move, a DNA test that could quickly resolve the entire controversy. Now, the story is taking a darker turn. New reports suggest that the real reason Jay-Z has consistently avoided DNA testing may be tied to the age of Rymir's mother at the time of conception.
Court documents submitted on June 16th, Jay-Z slams a recent lawsuit that Rymir and Lily filed against him as just the latest in what he says has been decades-long harassment. The documents read, "The fabricated allegations and claims have been addressed."
Allegedly, she was under the legal adult age when a 22-year-old Jay-Z fathered the child. This revelation links back to previous troubling allegations. Jay-Z was previously connected to a lawsuit filed by a woman who also accused Sean Diddy Combs, claiming both were involved in an incident when she was just 13 years old. Although the woman later withdrew her case, she has now come forward again. According to her, she never recanted her original accusations. She only dropped the suit under pressure. The woman alleges that Jay-Z used private investigators in an effort to silence her, a tactic she claims was used to force her into backing off. This raises serious questions about what additional details may surface in court and whether Jay-Z will eventually be compelled to take a DNA test.
It's your father. I really do. And if it's not, why you can't prove me wrong? Like it's not far as a proving me wrong thing. It's go to the courtroom and basically do what everybody else would have to do. Like it's not, you don't have to prove me wrong. I just want the truth. Honestly, I can take a no. I can take, if I'm embarrassed at the end of the day, I can take that. I really can. I've been through a lot. I've seen a lot. I could take me being embarrassed. Like this can't take nobody not saying nothing. Like, you know, it's not fair.
What's drawing serious attention now is the silence surrounding this development. Despite the case trending across platforms, major media outlets have barely acknowledged the updates. Platforms like TMZ and The Shade Room, typically quick to report on celebrity drama, have not posted a single update on the Rymir Satterthwaite story. A quick search through their archives confirms the noticeable absence. This media blackout appears consistent with their past handling of similar allegations. In a parallel example, these same outlets failed to report on a judge's recent dismissal of Jay-Z's defamation lawsuit against attorney Tony Busby, who is currently representing the accuser known as Jane Doe in another case. The pattern suggests a broader reluctance to publish anything critical involving Jay-Z. While many outlets remain quiet, there are figures in the entertainment space refusing to stay silent. 50 Cent, for instance, recently commented on the situation, publicly mocking Jay-Z for avoiding a paternity test. According to sources, 50 Cent has now offered legal assistance to Rymir, making his personal legal team available to support the case. In response, Jay-Z's attorneys have launched a counteroffensive, reportedly crafting a PR campaign aimed at undermining Rymir's credibility and stalling the case's momentum. Still, questions continue to grow. If Jay-Z has nothing to hide, critics argue, why spend extensive resources in court rather than simply agreeing to a DNA test? Rymir now has support and growing visibility. With mounting legal receipts and public backing, pressure is shifting, and the narrative may be slipping out of Jay-Z's control. Let's take a closer look at 50 Cent's unexpected involvement in this unfolding legal drama. The rapper and entrepreneur decided to insert himself into the conflict between Jay-Z and his alleged son, Rymir Satterthwaite. It began with a trolling post on Instagram where 50 pointed out the physical resemblance between Jay-Z and Rymir, sparking further public interest. But 50 didn't stop there.
Rymir was shot at somewhere in September. He was in a parking lot with other people near where he's at living now. And out of all the cars there, his was the only one shot up. So we believe that was a nexus or a connection, I believe, between the case and what's going on because it was around.
According to sources familiar with the matter, 50 Cent has now reportedly reached out to Rymir directly and offered the support of his legal team. He also posted a cryptic message online that read, "A good lawyer knows the law. A great lawyer knows the judge," implying strategic legal influence might soon come into play. This development is shifting the tone of the entire case. For months, Rymir's legal pursuit had been largely ignored by major media outlets and buried under legal technicalities. However, with 50 Cent's involvement, Jay-Z's legal team is now moving swiftly to contain any momentum. The sudden change in energy has caught the attention of legal observers and media insiders alike. In response, Jay-Z's attorneys recently filed new court documents requesting the dismissal of Rymir's lawsuit. According to paperwork obtained by Us Weekly, Jay-Z's team describes the case as the latest in a decades-long campaign of harassment. The documents also emphasize that previous courts have reviewed and rejected Rymir's claims, resulting in a prior contempt order against him for continuing to pursue the matter. The filing underscores Jay-Z's legal strategy: shut down the case before it gains traction, especially now that it's drawing public attention. With 50 Cent adding visibility and legal weight, however, this story may be far from over. Rymir Satterthwaite's former legal guardian, Dr. Lily Coley, a trained paralegal, has officially responded to Jay-Z's latest court filings, and according to her, some of the statements made by Jay's team are completely false. In a detailed statement, Dr. Coley stated clearly that this case is not fabricated and that key legal facts are being misrepresented. She emphasized that Wanda Satterthwaite's affidavit, which outlines her account of Jay-Z being Rymir's father, has been on the official court record for years and has never been retracted. This sworn affidavit formed the foundation of Rymir's belief in his paternity and his continued pursuit of answers. Dr. Coley also pushed back hard on claims that Rymir had been held in contempt of court. According to her, neither Rymir, Wanda, nor Dr. Coley herself has ever been held in contempt in any related legal proceeding. More importantly, she clarified that the core issue, Jay-Z's paternity, has never actually been addressed in a full legal hearing. Dr. Coley stated, "There has never been a discovery hearing or a final ruling that resolves the paternity or other issues. These facts continue to be overlooked in public narrative." But one critical detail continues to go unnoticed in mainstream discussions: the age of Rymir's late mother, Wanda, at the time she allegedly became pregnant by Jay-Z. This factor may hold legal implications that haven't been publicly addressed. To understand how this began, it's important to revisit the timeline. Rymir's name first surfaced in headlines in early 2015 after it was reported that he filed a paternity suit against Jay-Z in 2014. That initial lawsuit, backed by Dr. Coley, was abruptly dismissed. According to Dr. Coley, this was due to Jay-Z's attorney, Lisa Fisher, allegedly presenting false and misleading information to the court. Undeterred, Rymir filed again in 2018, this time alleging that Jay-Z had used his money, influence, and celebrity status to avoid taking a legally binding paternity test. That legal battle is now gaining renewed attention with additional backing and public scrutiny. Here's where the entire case begins to take a darker and more questionable turn. Rymir Satterthwaite's attempts to get answers about his paternity were consistently shut down, based on claims that his biological father had already been identified in court. But when Rymir finally secured a copy of his own birth certificate, the truth became undeniable. There was no father listed, no name, no signature, nothing. That discovery raised immediate red flags and pointed to something being deliberately concealed. Then came another major twist. Rymir learned that some members of his own legal team were allegedly communicating with Jay-Z's lawyers behind closed doors. In an interview with The Sun, Rymir revealed that he felt denied a fair legal process due to what he called legal mistakes, unethical decisions, and outright malpractice. He also stated that his mother, Wanda, told him when he was around 8 years old that Jay-Z was his father. According to Wanda's account, she met Jay-Z in 1992 at his aunt's apartment located in Brooklyn's Marcy Projects. She said they used protection, but it failed, and afterward, she never saw Jay-Z again and had no way to contact him. That brief encounter would shape the course of Rymir's life forever. Sadly, by 2010, Wanda's health had deteriorated significantly. At that point, legal custody of Rymir was granted to Dr. Lily Coley. In that same interview, Dr. Coley explained that Wanda had become pregnant shortly after meeting Jay at a time when she was just 15 or 16 years old, a detail that has serious legal and moral implications. But that wasn't the only alarming detail. According to a 2018 lawsuit filed in Philadelphia, Jay-Z's legal representatives allegedly had Wanda sign critical legal documents while she was hospitalized and recovering from a medically induced coma. Those documents reportedly removed Dr. Coley's name from the legal petition without her knowledge or approval, and for reasons that appeared highly suspicious. That unauthorized change caused the entire case to be dismissed by the Philadelphia court. Rymir's family described the event as deeply painful and unlike anything they'd ever seen in the justice system, calling it a blatant display of power and corruption. However, things didn't stop there. In an interview on Hip Hop News Uncensored, Rymir and Dr. Coley claimed that Rymir was shot in the aftermath of filing his lawsuit against Jay-Z. The incident raised even more questions about the lengths people might go to keep this story quiet. And here's where the story escalates into even more alarming territory. According to Dr. Lily Coley, shortly after Rymir filed his initial lawsuit, strangers began appearing at her doorstep. These individuals, she claims, were sent to intimidate her, making it clear they wanted her to stay silent. Their presence sent an undeniable message, one meant to discourage her from pursuing the truth. But Dr. Coley didn't back down. She emphasized that this battle is no longer just about Jay-Z. It's now about accountability and pushing for legal reforms that prevent the wealthy and powerful from exploiting the court system for personal protection. It's about setting a national precedent, no matter the cost. In a bold move, Rymir filed a new lawsuit, not against Jay-Z this time, but against the New Jersey court system itself, including multiple judges. He and Dr. Coley are accusing the courts of conspiring with Jay-Z for over a decade to systematically block every attempt he made to establish paternity. At the center of this lawsuit is a critical claim that Jay-Z allegedly lied under oath, stating he did not own property in New Jersey. This claim was used to argue that the state courts had no jurisdiction over him. However, Rymir's team later uncovered multiple property deeds and tax records with Jay-Z's name, records that directly contradicted his testimony and proved he did have property in the state. Rymir's complaint named 6 judges, alleging that they all knowingly supported this false narrative, effectively shielding Jay-Z from a legal paternity test. According to the lawsuit, Jay-Z used his financial influence and celebrity status to manipulate the judicial process, ensuring that Rymir's legal challenges would be tossed or denied at every turn. But the story doesn't end there. Rymir and Dr. Coley claim that once they began speaking publicly about these alleged injustices, the threats escalated. According to the new court filings, Rymir's car was reportedly shot at by unknown individuals. They also alleged they were followed throughout their neighborhood and that unknown vehicles even drove onto their property at 4 a.m. Both Rymir and Dr. Coley believe these acts of intimidation were not random. They suspect these actions were carefully orchestrated by individuals connected to Jay-Z's legal team, designed to send a chilling message. Now they are taking the fight further, suing the New Jersey court system and its judges for violating their constitutional rights and for actively obstructing justice over a span of more than 10 years. And now, this case takes an even more disturbing turn. According to new statements made during an interview with Tasha K., Rymir Satterthwaite and Dr. Lily Coley confirmed a crucial and unsettling detail. Rymir's late mother, Wanda, was just 15 or 16 years old when she became pregnant. Jay-Z at that time was reportedly 22 years old. Rymir explained that early on the courts attempted to throw out the paternity case based on the name listed on his birth certificate, insisting that the listed man had to be the biological father. But here's the twist. Rymir pointed out that if the court truly believed he was fabricating the story, they could have dismissed the case with prejudice, effectively ending it permanently. That didn't happen. Instead, the legal process has dragged on for years, with the courts refusing to give him a fair discovery hearing. Rymir made it absolutely clear he's not after Jay-Z's money. He even said that if a test proves Jay-Z is not his father, he will publicly apologize and walk away. But Jay-Z still refuses to take the test, and that raises serious questions. Then now there's another shocking layer to this situation. Whispers are now growing louder that Jay-Z's refusal to submit a DNA sample may not be about paternity at all, but something far more serious. According to explosive claims circulating in legal circles, Jay-Z is allegedly refusing to provide his DNA because doing so could potentially connect him to several unsolved homicides. Yes, you heard that right. It's being alleged that the permanent A-list rapper may be avoiding the paternity tests to prevent his DNA from entering the broader federal or state crime database systems. If that happened, it could be used in ongoing investigations tied to violent crimes that remain unsolved. Now again, these are allegations. There has been no confirmed connection between Jay-Z and any such cases, but the fact remains. Refusing to take a simple DNA test when it would settle a decades-long case and clear his name continues to raise red flags. Why go to such extreme lengths to avoid what should be a straightforward legal procedure? With more media outlets beginning to quietly look into the claims, and with figures like 50 Cent now backing Rymir's cause, this case has evolved from a paternity dispute into something potentially explosive. Rymir and Dr. Coley are not just pursuing justice, they're calling out an entire system they say has protected celebrity power at the expense of truth. As this case escalates, one thing is becoming increasingly clear. The silence surrounding Jay-Z's refusal to take a DNA test speaks louder than any press statement. Rymir Satterthwaite is not just asking for recognition, he's demanding accountability in a system many say has long favored the powerful over the powerless. Jay-Z, with decades of influence, vast financial resources, and an empire built on branding himself as both a mogul and a voice of the streets, now finds himself facing a very different kind of scrutiny. What started as a quiet paternity case has transformed into a story of potential abuse, legal manipulation, and the kind of secrets that could unravel reputations. If Jay-Z is truly innocent, if Rymir is not his son, there is an easy solution. One DNA test could close this case forever. But the longer the refusal continues, the more questions emerge. Why avoid resolution? Why fight so hard against truth? Meanwhile, Rymir presses forward. With the backing of 50 Cent and a growing army of supporters demanding transparency, he's not just fighting for his own identity anymore. He's become a symbol of how the legal system can be used to silence rather than serve. And as federal investigations, old lawsuits, and resurfaced accusations build pressure, it's no longer just a matter of paternity. It's a question of legacy. What happens when the empire of a billionaire begins to crack at its foundation? Because in the end, justice isn't about status, power, or perception. It's about truth. So now we ask you, what do you think comes next? Will Jay-Z finally take the test, or will more secrets continue to rise to the surface? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a chapter in this unfolding drama. And don't go anywhere. Our next video is even more explosive. Tap the thumbnail on your screen now.